Have you ever wondered if your brand is actually connecting? Why people are maybe visiting your website, scrolling your content, but still not taking that next step? Today, we're going to unpack what might be underneath that because I'm joined by Emily Ruven, a brand strategist and web designer who's originally from Estonia and now living in Mexico, who helps women and service based business owners build identity driven brands rooted in clarity instead of trends. And this is a really great conversation because Emily goes beyond, the logos and the color palettes. She works with her clients to get clear on who they are, what they stand for, how they want to show up, and how to translate that into a brand that feels cohesive, confident, and aligned. We talk about why so many business owners skip that foundational identity work, how that confusion can show up on your website, attract the wrong leads, why trends can quietly dilute your message, and what to do if you realize you built your brand before you built your clarity. Let's get into it. Welcome to Mompreneur Mastery. I'm your host, Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist turned content and messaging strategist after watching the online space get louder, buyers take longer, and content turn into a performance instead of real connection. On this podcast, you'll learn how to clarify your message so your content actually stands out in a sea of copy and paste trends and AI noise, and also how to strategize your content across platforms to build the trust and connection that turns followers into clients. All in doable, brain space saving episodes you can fit in between school pickup and reheating your coffee for the third time. Let's dive in. So for people who are new to your work, how do you usually explain what you actually do beyond just like branding, what people think of as like colors and logos and stuff?
Yeah, I go beyond visuals. Like, I know a lot of people think it's just visuals. Like, I have a logo, so I have branding, but branding is like so huge. It includes so many things. And with my clients, I want to like help people not just design their brand, but also like they can feel confident in their brand, so they can feel as their authentic selves and proud of their brand, not just like what looks good and what looks trendy and aesthetic. So in my work, I always, especially with personal brands, I put like the person in the center. I think this is what really connects with the people, with your clients, with your community. When I work with my clients, we like go really deep into who you are, especially for personal brands. You are like the service provider. So we go really deep into who you are, like your personality, also like what kind of words you use, all the messaging style, your values, your goals, your vision for your mission for your brand and business, and also like going deep into your story and how you want to show up. So everything has to feel connected and consistent. It's like a whole world we are creating here, which also will help you like with marketing later. Because if you have all the foundation, all the strategy before going into marketing, it will be so much easier for you and you feel a lot more confident.
Yeah. And I was going to say, as someone who does content marketing, it definitely helps make marketing easier, especially when you keep that consistency so you can like build trust with people over time. And also so you attract the right people to work with you too. I feel like having the right brand and messaging definitely helps with that as well.
Exactly. Like if you don't even know like who you're talking with or like what they're struggling with, then it's really difficult to do marketing because it's like building a house without the foundation. It's like you don't know how to market yourself if you don't have the foundation, which is really important here.
Yeah, exactly. What got you started in branding?
Actually, like I started my career as a translator, so it's really different what I'm doing now. Like I'm doing branding and web design. Honestly, I have always been like this creative girl who loves art and design. Since I was a kid, I loved like randomly like design things in Photoshop. Like I was obsessed with Photoshop. I literally had like a blog. I was like doing headers and like designing stuff on Photoshop. So I feel that since I was a kid, I already knew I wanted to do something creative. I liked like creative things and designing things. And after, as I always have loved also languages. So in your university, I studied Spanish and literature. So really different from branding, but it just has been part of my life because I love Spanish. I love Mexico. I live in Mexico right now. So that's why. And so in university, I took some extra courses about like graphic design because I wanted to learn more about what's the world includes. Like in graphic design, it's huge. And I just fell in love with this. I started learning on my own. Like 2 years ago, I started officially my own branding uh, business. And it has been a wild journey, but I'm really enjoying it.
I'm so glad. That's so interesting. I feel like a lot of the people I talk to also like got their degrees in like slightly different things than what they start their business in. Mine was in English literature. And
Oh,
I'm like, well, it kind of translates a little bit because I do writing
yeah.
and like I have to have like a knowledge of like words and communication. So it's there.
Exactly. Like you never know like how it also helps you, like what you studied in your university or what was your career before. Like I'm thinking about that I'm now like translating brands, like
Oh,
translating like the messy thoughts overthinking to like
yeah.
really a brand and visuals. So like I think it
Yeah.
really helps also like the communication part and the copywriting. Not that I'm a copywriter, but translating is also like writing a lot. So sense.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see that. That makes a ton of sense. You talk a lot about like identity and clarity coming before marketing. Why do you think that so many people skip that step?
I feel that a lot of people, like when they start their business, they want obviously have clients now. So what they have heard is like, I have to market myself. I have to start with marketing. I have to like show up. I have to sell my things. And it's normal. It's like we don't know anything about like everything when we're starting out. So they like jump into marketing without like having the foundation, and it's much difficult like if you don't have the foundation. And I think it's like the culture of just start posting, just show up, and obviously like you learn doing it and you learn what you're doing wrong, and you can always improve and see what you really need. So I feel that a lot of pressure from society that you have to like do your marketing, you have to start with marketing. But it's so hard when you don't even know like who you're talking with, like who are your clients, like what are they struggling with, or what makes you different, like why your clients should choose you over someone else who are doing something similar. So they're like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if something sticks. And if you don't have like the foundation and the strategy, it just will be so much more difficult for you. You will burn out much easier. And I'm also saying like it's like decorating a house without a foundation. Like it doesn't make sense for me. What are you decorating when you don't even have a house? Like
Hmm.
because like branding, like you do marketing, so you know like branding is your identity, what you're saying, and the marketing's the megaphone, the microphone you're using. So if your message isn't clear, it doesn't matter how loud it is. If you are not clear in your brand.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I see that a lot as well. People think that, like, and I completely understand why they think it, that they have to like jump right into like
Right.
posting every day and getting an audience. But even if you do like get an audience, if it's not the right audience, it doesn't actually help your business at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like doing marketing and you're attracting clients who you don't want. So it's just, you feel more tired or overwhelmed that why am I not getting the clients I want? But that's the key. Like you don't have the clarity in your brand, but like who are your clients really?
Yeah, completely agree there. How do you help clients separate who they really are from who they think they should be online?
I think it's very important topic because honestly, I also like when I started showing up and building my online presence, it was really difficult. You see a lot of people doing a lot of things and you think like, I have to do the same. If it's working for them, then probably it will work for me. But doesn't make sense because when you're copying someone, you're blending in because you're doing the same things. I feel that it's easier also like show up as you are, because when you're showing up as someone else, it just causes more burnout. And you don't even know like who you are anymore. You do just things that others doing are doing, and it doesn't help you get your clients or stand out from others, because we have so many competitors. So we have to like think more about why we're we different. So normally what I do is like go really deep, asking questions, asking my clients like so they can tell me their story, their values is how they want to show up. If something feels more comfortable for them, or something is like nothing comfortable, and also who they want to work with and who they don't want to work with. I think this is also the key. And I normally see patterns. I like see patterns, who they are, what is their personality, and how can I bring out all of that. Because you can have like very similar services, very similar products, but the only thing that makes you different from others is your story and who you are, your experiences, your opinions. Like nobody else can copy this. So this is like the part we have to focus on, not blending with other people.
Yeah, and I think right now that's kind of more important than ever now that there's so many like online business owners and also specific to marketing now that so many people are just using AI to generate copy for marketing, it's
Right.
all starting to sound the same.
Yeah,
So, yeah, when you have that like foundational piece, it's so much easier to stand out. And I also love that you mentioned you ask questions about who people don't want to work with
exactly.
too, because I feel like so often we focus on who we do want to work with.
Mhm.
We kind of forget that our marketing and messaging is also meant to not only attract the right people, but make sure we're not attracting the wrong people as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like your brand is doing the filtering for you.
Hmm.
This is the most important thing the brand is doing, like attracting the clients you want and also filtering the clients you don't want. So yeah,
Yeah, I love that. Do you have like certain questions that you ask to try and filter?
I honestly just get to know them as a person, as a human being, not just like what they do, like is their profession. Obviously, we gotta talk about like why are they good at what they do, or what their clients are saying about how they love working with them. But like really going get to know the person, like their story, how they started. It is not just the origin story. Like I know when I say like brand story, a lot of people think it's like the origin story, like how I started my business, but it
Hmm.
goes beyond just your origin story. It's like who you are, like what are your experiences, what do you think about how we show up, your experiences, your opinions, like goes beyond all that. So I really get deep into like who is the person, especially with personal brands, because you are like it's personal brand, so it has to be personal, you know.
Right.
Uh, and just going deep into who the person is, and also see why are they unique, why are they different than other people, what are their strengths. I love like finding these gems, honestly. Like this is the best part, like seeing the person um, and their strengths, because sometimes you don't see it yourself. Like for me also, like it's difficult sometimes see why I'm different, and I have to ask like my husband, like, what do you think, why you think I'm different? Like, it doesn't make sense for me. So I feel a lot of people are stuck in their brand, so they don't know how to express themselves, or how are they different from others. It's difficult to say it about yourself, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like they're so used to it, they don't see it as well as like someone on the outside would see it.
Yeah, exactly. Like also, like I feel they think like I'm not that special. Like I'm not yet that
Mm.
unique. Like just a normal person just trying to do my business. But when you go deep, like when someone else is going deep into who you are, they are realizing that you're much more than that. That you are unique in your own way and with your experiences, with your opinions.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that so much. And that's like such an important, like you said, foundation of how you show up too in marketing.
Yeah.
And I know we talked a bit about like showing up in a way, people showing up before they're ready in a way that attracts the wrong people. And I feel like that's like a natural segue into trends, which are not my favorite thing. What do you feel about brands hopping on trends?
I think they are like starting doing the trends because it's like what you see in social media. Like you're like, oh, they're doing trends. It must be work for me too. So it's like something safe, something that it will work for me and it's promising. You're being more visible. And also like maybe you're thinking that, how to say FOMO? Like your
Oh, yeah. Fear. Yeah.
fear of
Fear of missing out.
missing out. So you're like, I have to do what everyone else is doing. But like, I'm not saying that trends are something that you can't do, especially like with content. Obviously, you can't hop on trends sometimes, like do some trendy reels here and there. But like getting like being viral is not going to help you that much. And when we're like building a brand, like maybe it works a little bit for content, but it shouldn't be your focus, like on trends. But if we're talking about your brand foundation, it should never be built on trends, honestly, because like trends fade. They're for a reason trends, but your identity, your brand, your business is something that should be long term. So yeah, I have like some opinions here about trends that you can do, of course, but if you're thinking about your foundation, it shouldn't be built on trends.
Yeah. Like trends are like an interesting tool, but definitely not like a full strategy. And I think, like you said, it's a really important to keep in mind that like while it feels really cool to get like a bunch of likes and views on a
Mhm.
trending reel, that's not the end goal. Like I could share a reel of like my dog doing a trick and it could get a bunch of likes and follows, but it doesn't do anything to help me get clients. So like it has to align.
Exactly. Like you can show your personality through trends and it's okay. Maybe it helps you connect with people. But yeah, like you said, like you need more than that. You need a strategy. Like you, when you want to clients, like the trends will not help you that much.
Right, exactly. And you talk a lot about confidence showing up online. How does clarity around your brand identity change the way someone can show up either on their website or in their like content?
I think when you have like clarity in all your brand, like who is your client, why you're different, everything about your identity, about getting clear on your brand and foundations, it will be much easier for yourself to not guessing, like not be overwhelming, like what should I do next? Like you already have the foundation and clarity. So when you're clear, it should be easier for you to like market yourself also. So, and also you don't have to like rebrand every month or tweak or change things like every day. Because when you're doing that, it means that you're not clear. You don't have the foundation. And probably also like you feel more confident. You feel more proud. Like you really want to share your website because you know, like it works. It shows who I am and it will get me the clients. And just like your clients will also understand your value, you're communicating your value with your brand, with your visuals, with your messaging. So it also, like clarity is something that should give you confidence about showing up as yourself and knowing that it works for you.
And I think also when you have that confidence and clarity, it'll be easier to know, like, just because we were just talking about trends, like what trends, well, first, like that you don't need to just constantly hop on trends. You know what to say outside of them. But then also, if you do see one, you know which ones are aligned that you can use
Mhm.
as like a good tool. But again, not that whole underlying strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have the clarity, and so it helps you to know what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Do you know of any like signs that a website has that shows that they weren't built on a strong foundation?
I feel when you don't have the foundation, like talking about only about website, people when are like visiting your website, they get confused. Like
Mm.
they get confused who you're for, if they're in the right place and they're not ready to like work with you because it all feels messy, like your messaging is not aligned with what are you offering. So I feel, and also there can be a lot of signs, obviously, like they're confusing, like it's confusing the messaging or copy, or maybe the visuals are like generic. So they're like, I have seen it before.
Mm.
It's not different and it's not memorable. And what we want is to stand out and be memorable. So the clients will choose us. So there comes the foundation we need. And probably also like one of the sign is that you're getting maybe you are getting inquiries, leads, but they're not the right fit for you.
Mm.
So something in your copy, something that feels that is for these kind of clients. And there are a lot of like elements in your brand, in your website that shows that. Even if you like think that visuals are not that important, like I have my copy really good, but people chat you, like people chat you before they even read anything. And when your design is, I'm not judging anyone like doing their designs in Canva or in anything. It's really normal to start out when you don't have like the money to invest. It's okay, but it also says that you're more amateur. You maybe and you're when you're offering like premier services, doesn't make sense for the client to invest in you because they feel that it doesn't sound like a really good investment for me just because of visuals. Like it's crazy, honestly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just knowing like on social media specifically how we like skim things and like scroll so quickly. I imagine it's similar on a website. We're not taking the time to read like all that copy. We're kind of just basing it on those visuals first.
Yeah, and I also think like it's the first impression because if you don't like catch the attention of the client or potential client, then they're like leaving. They're like going for another one that feels more aligned, more who they need.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. If someone listening realizes they might have skipped that like foundation work of their brand identity, where should they start without getting overwhelmed?
Okay. I feel that, as I said, like funding includes a lot of things and it can be really overwhelming, like thinking, oh my God, it's like my identity has to include this and this and this. So I think you just need to relax, like you need to breathe before. And then just start audit. Just audit your brand, your website. Start thinking about what your client thinks when they're visiting your social media, when they're visiting your website, like what they need. And audit your visuals, audit if your values, if your messaging and the mission for your brand is all aligned, and focus always on the clarity. Like if your brand is clear, if your copy is clear, it sounds great. If it's talks to your client you want. And of course, like I always recommend to get, if you can invest in it, it's okay. If you can't, invest in an audit from someone professional because sometimes you're like missing something. And when you're not like expert in branding, then you're like, I'm not sure like what to do. So
Mhm.
you can just ask for help to get other eyes on your brand, on your website. So they can give you a lot of insight what you may be missing and just like maybe little tweaks you need to get more clarity in your brand. You don't have to do a rebrand and burn down your brand entirely. Like it just comes to little tweaks here and there sometimes.
That's such a great idea. I don't think I've thought of that before. I only ever had in my head like a full rebrand. Is a brand audit like a service you offer?
Yes, actually I am. I started to offer it last year. So it's something new, but it's something that we can start with if you need like see what could be improved. Like I will always give you like next steps to implement. But right now it's like having a feedback you can get quickly. And it's not like doing a whole full rebrand or full strategy. It's more like getting more clarity in your brand.
Yeah, I love that. That's so smart. That's such a great idea. So if any of this is resonating with you, definitely look at Emily's branding audit. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called brand audit. Yeah.
Brand audit. Okay. And then you also created a brand foundations guide. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. And also, I feel that this guide I have created will be also a great start if you are struggling with your brand or need more clarity and don't want to invest in audit. Or I created this to help people to get more clear about their brand foundations. I have included like practical exercises for them. Like it's like a worksheet style of guide, so you can directly right there and do the exercises that will help you get more clear on your brand foundation, all your identity. And actually, I have like 2 more parts of this guide, which I'm giving away for my newsletter subscribers. So the first one is like the brand foundations, getting clear on your mission, your values, your personality, your messaging style. And then the part 2 is defining your audience, defining who you're talking with, what you're struggling with, and also how to do market research. And the third part is researching competitors. So I feel that when you're starting with all these parts, you're having a lot more clarity in your brand already.
Yeah, that sounds amazingly helpful. And I like that it's split over a couple different things. So it's not as overwhelming because it's obviously like all of that information we have to use and like we really need. But yeah, I can see how getting it all at once would be a bit overwhelming. So I like that it's broken up too.
Yeah, that's why, honestly, when I created this, I was like, I wanted to do like everything all together. But then I was like, oh no, it's too much, like too much for one guide.
Yeah. So that sounds great. And I'm going to put the link for that in the show notes. So definitely make sure you sign up for that. And thank you so much for coming to talk about branding and web design with me, Emily. I loved having you.
Thank you so much for inviting. I really enjoyed our chat.
Thank you so much for being here and for listening to me yap on Mompreneur Mastery. If planning your content and strategizing it still feels harder than it should, check out the Content Chaos Reset. You give it a little bit of information about your business and your offer, and it'll plan 2 weeks of content for you, posts, emails, blogs, or podcasts that all support each other so you have a cohesive marketing plan. It's free and it's linked in the show notes, or you can head to sydneyobrien.com/reset, RESET.